There's a strange moment that happens in life. You work harder than ever. You pray harder, push harder, think harder, and somehow everything becomes heavier. You wake up tired. Your mind never stops racing. And even though you're doing everything right, the miracle still feels far away. But what if the problem isn't that you're not trying enough? What if the very force you're using to change your life is the same force blocking the transformation? Because there's a hidden law most people never understand. The universe does not respond to desperation. It responds to alignment. And sometimes the greatest breakthrough of your life begins the moment you stop forcing what was never meant to be forced. Most people believe that the harder they force something, the faster it will happen. But forcing creates resistance because the energy behind force is usually fear, desperation, or doubt. When someone is constantly trying to control every outcome, overthinking every detail, and pushing beyond peace, they unknowingly send a message that they do not trust life to support them. This creates tension internally, and that tension affects the way they think, speak, act, and attract experiences. Think about how people behave when they are desperate for something. They become impatient, emotionally reactive, and mentally exhausted. Instead of moving with clarity, they move with panic. That panic blocks intuition, creativity, and emotional balance. The mind becomes so focused on making it happen that it cannot recognize opportunities naturally appearing in front of it. In many cases, the very thing being chased begins to move further away because the person is operating from a state of lack instead of trust. Life responds differently when a person is calm and aligned. A relaxed mind makes better decisions. A peaceful heart attracts healthier relationships. A person who trusts the process carries a different energy than someone constantly forcing outcomes. This does not mean action is unnecessary. Action is important, but there is a difference between inspired action and fearful action. Inspired action comes from confidence and inner certainty, while fearful action comes from anxiety and emotional pressure. Nature itself teaches this principle. A seed does not struggle to become a tree. Growth happens through the right conditions, patience, and alignment with natural timing. In the same way, miracles and breakthroughs often arrive when resistance disappears. The moment a person stops forcing life and starts trusting it, they create space for new possibilities, unexpected opportunities, and inner peace to enter naturally. Many people spend their lives believing miracles happen only through endless struggle, pressure, and exhaustion. They think that if they work harder, worry more, or constantly push themselves beyond their limits, life will finally reward them. But miracles are not created through emotional burnout. They are created through alignment. Alignment means your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions are moving in harmony instead of conflict. When your inner world becomes balanced, your outer world begins to change naturally. A person may take all the right actions externally, while internally carrying fear, doubt, frustration, and impatience. This creates mixed energy. On one side, they say they trust the future, but on the other side, they constantly worry that nothing will work out. That internal contradiction blocks flow. Miracles cannot fully enter a mind that is always expecting failure or disaster. The energy within a person shapes the way they experience life. When someone becomes aligned internally, their decisions become clearer. They stop acting from panic and begin acting from purpose. They no longer chase opportunities from fear of missing out. Instead, they move with confidence and trust. This shift changes how they communicate, how they respond to problems, and how they attract people into their lives. Often, the external breakthrough appears only after the internal shift has already happened. Alignment also creates emotional openness. A stressed and fearful mind becomes closed, defensive, and reactive. But a peaceful mind becomes creative, intuitive, and receptive. Many people miss blessings because they are too overwhelmed internally to recognize what life is offering them. The moment they slow down and reconnect with themselves, new possibilities begin appearing. Miracles are not always dramatic events. Sometimes they are unexpected opportunities, meaningful relationships, sudden clarity, or doors opening at the perfect time. These moments often arrive not when a person is forcing life to change, but when they finally become aligned with the future they have been praying for. One of the biggest reasons people feel blocked in life is because they try to control everything. They want to control timing, outcomes, people, opportunities, and every detail of the future. At first, this may seem responsible or intelligent, but excessive control is often rooted in fear. Deep inside, the person is afraid that if they stop managing everything, life will fall apart. This fear creates stress, mental exhaustion, and emotional tension that disconnects them from peace and intuition. Control gives the illusion of safety, but it also limits possibility. When someone becomes obsessed with forcing specific outcomes, they close themselves off from unexpected opportunities that may be even better than what they imagined. They become attached to one path and ignore the signs, ideas, and directions life is trying to show them. Instead of flowing with life, they begin fighting against it. Intuition becomes weak when the mind is constantly noisy. A person who is always overthinking cannot hear inner guidance clearly. Their decisions become based on panic instead of wisdom. They start reacting emotionally to delays and setbacks, believing every obstacle means failure. But many times, delays are redirections towards something greater. A controlling mindset cannot recognize this because it only trusts what it can predict. Trust is what reconnects people to flow. Trust does not mean giving up responsibility or becoming passive. It means doing your part while accepting that not everything can be controlled. There is a difference between taking action and trying to dominate every outcome. When people release the need to control every detail, they create emotional space for clarity, creativity, and new solutions to appear naturally. Some of the greatest moments in life happen unexpectedly. The right relationship, opportunity, or breakthrough often arrives in ways that could never have been planned perfectly. A person connected to trust and intuition is able to recognize these moments quickly because their mind is open instead of trapped in fear and control. Most people are taught how to chase, struggle, and constantly work for what they want, but very few are taught how to receive. They know how to push themselves endlessly, yet they feel uncomfortable simply trusting that good things can come into their lives naturally. Because of this, many people spend years operating from survival mode, believing they must earn every blessing through stress, exhaustion, and emotional pressure. But receiving is a completely different energy from striving. Striving often comes from the belief that something is missing. A person feels incomplete, so they chase success, money, love, or recognition, hoping it will finally make them feel worthy. The problem is that when someone constantly operates from inner lack, they carry desperate energy. Even if they achieve something, peace disappears quickly because the mind immediately searches for the next thing to prove or fix. Receiving begins with believing you are already worthy before the result appears. It is the ability to remain open, calm, and trusting while life unfolds. This state creates emotional stability because your happiness is no longer completely dependent on external outcomes. Instead of forcing opportunities, you become available for them. Instead of chasing validation, you begin attracting genuine connection and respect naturally. Many people unknowingly block blessings because they reject support, opportunities, compliments, or love due to fear and insecurity. They are so used to struggle that ease feels unfamiliar. But life often flows more freely when resistance disappears. A person who knows how to receive does not waste energy constantly fighting reality. They remain grateful, emotionally open, and prepared for possibilities greater than what they originally imagined. Receiving also strengthens intuition. When the mind is not consumed by fear and pressure, clarity becomes stronger. People begin recognizing the right timing, the right relationships, and the right decisions more easily. They stop forcing doors open and start noticing which doors open naturally. In that space of trust and openness, life begins responding differently because the person is no longer operating from desperation, but from quiet inner certainty. Many people believe pressure is necessary for success. They think if they constantly worry, overwork, and push themselves emotionally, they will eventually achieve the life they want. Society often praises stress as ambition and exhaustion as dedication. But pressure does not always create progress. In many cases, it blocks clarity, weakens emotional stability, and disconnects people from the peace needed to make wise decisions. True transformation often begins not in chaos, but in peace. When a person lives under constant pressure, their mind becomes trapped in survival mode. They overthink small problems, react emotionally to setbacks, and lose connection with the present moment. Fear begins controlling their actions. Instead of moving with confidence, they move with urgency and panic. This state drains creativity and intuition because the mind is focused only on avoiding failure. A pressured mind cannot fully recognize opportunities because it is too busy expecting problems. Peace creates a completely different energy. A peaceful person does not mean someone without goals or ambition. It means someone who trusts themselves and trusts life enough to remain grounded even during uncertainty. From that emotional state, decisions become clearer and actions become more intentional. Peace allows patience, and patience allows better timing. Many breakthroughs happen when people stop reacting impulsively and start responding with calm awareness. Relationships also improve in peaceful energy. People feel safer around calm individuals because they are not carrying emotional chaos into every interaction. Opportunities are attracted to those who carry stability and confidence rather than desperation. Even physical health improves when the body is not constantly overwhelmed by stress and anxiety. Nature itself moves through peace. The ocean does not force its waves. The seasons do not rush their arrival. Growth happens steadily and naturally. In the same way, life often unfolds more beautifully when people stop trying to control every moment through pressure. The things meant for them begin arriving more naturally once fear, panic, and emotional force are replaced with trust, patience, and inner calm.